the way Republicans have gone about drafting their legislation so far, with closed-door GOP-only negotiations producing sudden wholesale changes, suggests that nothing will stop them from pushing this bill through the House. GOP leaders look ready to discard any provision or make any deal to get the votes they need. Even before committee members began consideration of the bill, which was just the day after it was introduced, the author of the legislation, Ways and Means Chairman Kevin Brady, R. Texas, had changed how soon income brackets would move from a standard adjustment for inflation to one that rises more slowly. Using a slower inflation measure raises more money for the government, in this case, an additional $128 billion over 10 years, as people are pushed into higher brackets. The House bill still pays for significant cuts to the corporate tax rate and some reductions to individual income taxes, in part by eliminating sundry personal exemptions and slashing the state and local tax deduction, which allows taxpayers to write off their local taxes. But GOP leaders have cut a deal to allow people to write off the first $10,000 of their state and local taxes. But instead of thinking twice, GOP lawmakers may be even more intent on passing a measure now. Republicans may want something big they can point to next year, rather than just running on unfulfilled promises or the culture war tactics that failed on Tuesday. King has been whipping up opposition among other Republicans whose districts, like his, benefit significantly from the state and local tax write-off. He has more than a half-dozen Republicans with him from New York and New Jersey, although he's had little luck getting California Republicans to speak against the tax bill. Rep.Darrell Issa, R-Calif. Has come out against the tax bill, citing concerns over the state and local tax deduction among other issues. But most of the other California Republicans have shown a remarkable willingness to go along with their leadership's plans, even if it means tax increases on some of their constituents. It's true that not all congressional districts in the Golden State are affected to the same degree. Yet their GOP representatives seem to be grading the tax bill more gently than some other Republican lawmakers, with all California Republicans voting twice for budgets that set up consideration of the tax legislation, even when New York and New Jersey Republicans voted no. Valadao reported that he was leaning positively on the bill. When HuffPost asked whether it was fair, the taxpayers from some states would see bigger tax cuts than those from other states, he suggested his standard was whether his constituents would benefit on average. On Wednesday, Rep.John Faso, R-N.Y, made the point to reporters that, even though his own district wouldn't be affected that much by the deduction's loss, getting rid of that write-off could drive extremely wealthy people out of the state and thus cause New York to suffer lost business and lost tax collection. The bottom line, however, is that most House Republicans seem to think they are voting for the interests of their state in supporting the tax bill. Republicans insist this is a pro-growth tax cut that will pay for itself. And there may not be enough Republicans from high-tax areas whose votes are in question to force GOP leaders to change the bill. On the last budget vote, only about a dozen Republicans voted no because of the state and local tax issue. Almost another dozen Republicans could vote no over other concerns, and leadership could still pass the bill out of the House.